Oh, right, we had Lost War Chronicles. That's the other thing that gives us.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's 5 because I think there's Solomon and I think there's one specifically that's Abaoku.
Then there's the future mission. I don't know if that's part of the Abaku mission.
I think that's the back end of the Abaoku mission.
Go to the menu.
If you guys are tuning in right now, we're messing with some stuff. We're trying to figure out an audio desync we have. We're pretty sure it should be synced up fine on stream, but for us, there's a weird, like, 3rd to half-second delay between when we push a button and when the sound comes through.
1, 2, 3. Oh, it's on 2. The screen doesn't go that fast. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I can confirm it is synced up on stream.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah,
So,
that's what's
stream
actually
is fine. Alright. Now let me close the stream so I can get back to the present as opposed to the past that I'm currently hearing.
Yes, people on space stuff.
Okay. Now that I'm done with that bit of time traveling.
I guess we'll go ahead and get started here. Thank you all for joining us again on another Sunday afternoon Sound Goblin Gaming stream here at Sound Goblin Gaming. We're doing another Super Robot Sundays here as we continue our playthrough of SD Gundam G Generation Genesis, and that never gets easier to say. I am, as always, your host, Bograt.
I'm Shiv.
And I'm Vincent.
And Krampus will join us as soon as he wakes his lazy ass up. So we're resuming here the playthrough we had for Missing Link. Probably going to do sort of the last 2 scenarios here because we're pretty sure Missing Link is just 5 scenarios. And then depending upon what happens, we will sort of audible from there to finish out the afternoon.
Last those are intrepid young group of fleeing Xeon soldiers and not fleeing Federation soldiers.
Yeah, so the Xeon forces, the Marcosius company, had retreated back to space along with most of the Xeon forces. Meanwhile, the Slave Wraith company had, quote-unquote, retreated to space and gotten their HLV blown out of the sky, except it was a fake decoy, and actually they landed off in the desert to go hunt down Grave.
Yep.
マルコシアスの HLV を使って地球へ再突入。リターンエースを決めたってわけだ。ヴィンセントとの別れは辛かった。親より先に死ぬなよ。とか、余計なこと言っちまった。うすうす気づいてるかもしれねえが、ボロが出る前に再会を約束して別れた。積もる話はまた今度だ。俺には まだ地球でやり残したことがある。地下に潜り、俺たちは反撃の準備を整えた。リッパーやマルコシアスの隊長と連絡が取れればよかったんだが。
Yeah, I got no settings on the board to compensate for it. So.
ここにおいて戦争の趨勢は消した。圧倒的な物量差を覆すだけの力はジオンにはない。ジオンの降伏までは時間の問題だろう。
We apologize if the Japanese audio is out of sync with the text.
Oh, it won't be.
I mean, for them it won't be. It's only for us. See the sacrifices we make for you, our no viewers.
Hey, every once in a while we have like one person show up. Sometimes they say something.
Here, hold on a second. I'm going to verify real quick whether or not this is 5 or 6 scenarios by pulling up my bizarre Japanese-only wiki that I run through Google Translate and then manually, like in my head, retranslate back into mostly understandable English. because it is significantly more thorough than the only English language resource for this. Crossrays, much better. Crossrays has plenty of information available in English. 5 stages for Missing Link.
Sunset at Solomon.
ソロモンの落日
Uncommon thieves.
Considering we're selling mobile suits, yes.
I don't know how
No
commonly
one
that...
locks them.
Yeah, no, that happens all the time.
And they don't use keys to start. It's just a
That's
button.
true.
You can steal mobile suits.
Okay.
Mobile suits get stolen all the time.
Even in
Yes, in these series that are built around mobile suit battles, mobile suits get stolen all the time. There's a bit of confirmation bias here.
Even in the one alternate universe where they do have some sort of a key system, the thieves just carry around controls for mobile suits. For reference, in Gundam X, it is actually a thing where the actual control stick for the mobile suits comes out, and so you just sort of take it with you when you leave your mobile suit. Except literally in the very first episode, the main character, Garad Ran, steals a control stick for a mobile suit from a safe and then goes and steals the mobile suit.
Yeah, mobile suits get stolen all the time.
At least it takes one extra step.
They don't even lock them. You just hit a button to open the hatch, pop in, it'll run.
Hey, sometimes you spin a handle to open the
Sometimes you
hatch.
spin a handle to open a hatch, then you hop right in and it'll run.
Sometimes, in the middle of battle, you open the hatch and climb out for some reason.
That's you having a conversation with your opponent.
And then you fall very slowly until you don't.
Yeah, sometimes in the middle of a battle, in space, you have to open up your cockpit so you're having a conversation with your opponent.
Or fire a bazooka through the cockpit of a spaceship.
Or do that. Philip Hughes.
To make up for his absence, I will now emulate Krampus's standard commentary during Super Robot Sundays.
That's not true. He's not close enough to the mic to pick that up.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
He has cardiac enough to lean back.
All right, this is a weird thing in which this is happening during the events of Blue Destiny.
Uh-huh. Yes, because Missing Link does take part during the events of Blue Destiny.
Yep.
Hence why Philip Hughes is here.
And Philip Hughes and Yu Kojima.
Yeah.
you've summoned him by his call.
I knew something was missing.
That. Mission start. Have a special mission on this one?
Nope, nothing special during 4 other than the stated missions.
So basically do whatever it actually said.
Yeah.
このまま距離を詰める
Is this yet another mission where you have to only use their troops for the first half, and then you come in to clean up any semblance
That's
of
pretty much
difficulty?
every mission.
That's actually that's the more common thing. It is
Okay.
actually less common for us to be able to deploy our troops during the intro side of things. It is primarily done with because the whole thing was like, typically speaking, these are the more story-focused side of things that are more sort of accurate to the actual story they're emulating, and then the second half are usually, here's the general event that's occurring, but we're also going to add, like, 300 times the actual number of units that were present in that section of the game or anime.
Like, I actually like these ones because most of the Missing Link ones are relatively well balanced.
Yeah, because again, you've got actually decent units in the like slave wraith units and whatnot, versus general kind of grunt stuff. The problem is in a lot of the earlier ones we would have like gyms and they would have like doms and shit, and it's just like it's way unbalanced in their favor and makes it a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Or like we would be here with like gyms, maybe a gym custom, and it's like, great, face the fucking Blue Destiny unit too.
Or it's like, oh, you do have the RX-78, but you have to fight off like 10 fucking missiles.
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't fun.
Yeah, the next actual special mission is during the next scenario, which actually technically has 2. One for unlocking Vincent as a pilot, and one for getting the gold modification. So obviously we're more concerned with the gold mod than we are with the Vincent, but it's fine enough to do. Also to illustrate exactly how, the level of translation I'm working through. So the 5th scenario, which we will get to shortly, is entitled Broken Grave, which is obviously a play on words both for Commander Grave and also the concept of a grave.
Yeah.
Because of using a Japanese wiki and then flowing through Google Translate in order to have it be readable to me, it listed as Broken Tombstone.
Hello. I've arrived at the stream as the high professionalism. In my own house.
The one person who doesn't actually have to drive. Can I have to say something again?
Testing?
Okay, good.
Yeah, it is coming through.
Yeah.
His audio is always weird, and I'm not sure why.
Mushkin House Shiv's audio is weird on some mics as well.
Yeah. Like, I can see the levels move on the board. I can see, I know it's showing up on OBS, and we can hear him. It's just very bizarre because for some reason, for our side of things, we hear him more from the room than we actually do from our headphones.
Weird.
I don't know why. I have turned him up a bit on the board now, so.
Audio is magic.
I am speaking directly into the
Audio is
microphone
magic.
now. I'm not slouched over.
Actually voodoo.
Half slipped like I usually am.
And we did not have enough time to sacrifice a chicken to the audio gods before starting stream today, unfortunately.
It's so messy to do. You have to bring the tarp out. You use the right knives. You can't just use the knives you use every day.
Rise chicken.
Rise chicken.
Oh, rise chicken.
Rise chicken.
Rise chicken.
Rise.
So freaking stupid. There's always the risk that you summon Mega Ultra Chicken.
No, he is legend.
How about a swimming pool full of blood?
Still making episodes of that.
Yeah, they are. Perhaps more surprisingly, it's still funny.
That is
Unlike,
more surprising.
Unlike other shows that have gone on way too long, but haven't been funny for a decade and a half. I'm looking at you, Simpsons. That's right. My extremely cold take that basically everybody agrees with.
Sir, we need to keep this back up.
I'm afraid that two energy is... yeah.
Meanwhile, my much more controversial animation take that's like 50-50 agreed with. Family Guy isn't funny now, but that's because it never was.
Has its moments, but
It does have
There's usually one good joke in
Per
every
episode,
Family Guy
yeah.
episode. Yes.
Which is why
okay.
the best way to watch Family Guy is to go onto like YouTube and get Family Guy funny moment compilations. Because then you don't have to put up with the rest of the episode.
Also, two
I
if there's
will-
a musical episode.
Yeah, I will contend that at least first season usually got maybe 2 or 3 per episode. But mostly, yeah.
Conversely, other projects in the same sort of group there, Robot Chicken was consistently fucking hilarious.
Yes. Which made it funny when Family Guy took a shot at
Robot Chicken.
At Robot Chicken.
Die, werewolf!
Die, Cylon! This is one of the first real things I ever saw in like pop media that took a shot at Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
Like an unabashed, like, oh, you called the universe. Oh, no, he actually calls it that.
that plane makes.
No, right, that's just the color of the unit.
What's that?
Oh, that is gray like that?
Yeah. I mean, there's an E for when it's actually taking its action. It's just like, how is it gray? That,
Because the
but it's like,
slave
no,
race
that's
are
actually the color of the slave race.
Yeah, the whole slave race unit has like the sort of gunmetal and steel coloring scheme.
Yeah. It's actually a very good coloring scheme for the model, but... As a consequence, it makes it look like it's already taken its turn. to
Yes,
some
yes.
extent.
Yeah, no, you very much have to pay attention to the E when you're dealing with the slave rates.
Get more enemies.
Get this man his custom gym.
If only. Just throw up some machine guns, we'll take care of this thing in no time. The miniguns.
Yep.
Not to mention it's also a gym dominance.
Uh-huh.
Not a regular ass gym.
Yes. Unfortunately, that unit I don't think is in this game at all.
No, I don't believe the gym dominance is in this. Let alone a custom gym dominance.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. Right, Blue Destiny Unit 3.
Yes. Yes, Blue Destiny Unit 3, which is when they put the exam system in an actual, like, Gundam frame.
yeah, both Unit 2 and Unit 3 are Gundams.
Yep.
Because Unit 1 is effectively a modified gem.
Yeah, Unit 1 is a modified gem, and then the first thing that has the exam system in it is actually an Ifrit. Because, surprise, the incredibly unethical computer system housing the soul of a comatose new type was a Xeon science discovery initially.
That makes perfect sense.
And then the Federation found out about it and went to the scientists and was like, hey, you want to get out of Xeon? We'll pay you too. And they're like, why, yes, certainly. Once the new type goes up, who cares where they come down?
At least this scientist is in the show now.
There's another code names association. Our group is never getting back. So how do I tell them in German? Shota won.
Shota 1.
And then
Yeah, for code names.
but Shota ass!
Oh,
if I had an unlimited amount of time, budget, like whatever, I would want to set up a thing where I just have 100 groups of people, of like 4 people, who are all friends, play code names together, and watch the weird mimetic triggers that happen. Be like, okay, how did they get that one? For some reason, that kind of thing just fascinates me.
Mission to destroy a ship. It's indestructible, just leave.
We brought its health bar to 0. Too bad.
I don't care.
That
Like
wasn't
3
like
more
anything-
turns to stop the HLU. What are you talking about?
And that wasn't like anything we did wrong.
No, that's just how
just
that
how the
goes.
plot goes.
It's a storyline thing.
Yep.
That HLV escapes. Like,
Yeah.
it just does.
This is when they find out information about the exams or at the Hades system from meeting up with the people from Blue Destiny.
Yes, it is.
Don't we figure that Pale Rider could also sometimes be translated as green for some reason?
I mean, it's
Well,
like
no,
it's pale.
we found out
is-
in the
Fate Tactics.
Fate Tactics Let's Play that we did, when we looked it up, the color of the horse actually wasn't originally mentioned. That was a later thing that someone developed. There are, in fact, instances of Death's horse being a pale green color.
Okay.
Well, because
I
the
knew
thing,
there was something
but
there.
the thing to remember is that pale isn't actually a color.
No, it's just
a
we
tone.
tend to- it tends to be associated more with a
With like white,
White,
but
but
pale
that's not
literally
necessarily
just means
correct.
like essentially a thin version of whatever color
Yeah.
you're looking at.
Yeah, there are historic examples of the horse of death being a green color instead, which is why it made more sense that Akhmat was the green horse.
But yeah, it very much is a case of like, no, like you can have pale of literally any color. There is pale red, pale blue, pale green. Pale is a descriptor, not an actual shade.
Yeah, it's just all the other horses have a specific color mentioned with them. They rode a blank horse, they just rode a pale horse,
Yeah.
which isn't a color descriptor, or which isn't a color in and of
突撃
itself.
機動軍の船に回収された。しかし
レイスは匿名があると言ってその場から立ち去った。別れ際隊長のトラビスさんに親より先に死ぬ
Then
と言われた。
the fifth
あの人は
horseman, cowboy,
僕
on
の
a
父
steel
親だっ
horse
た
he
のかも
rides.
しれない。しかし
He's
そ
wanted,
んな偶然
Wanted.
あるんだろう
dead
か。
or alive.
僕はこの先
Right, now I need some Fate Tactics DLC.
シュナイド隊長ならどうするだろう。
Karok.
そんなことばかり考える。残念だが月面都市グラナダにあ
The
る
Ghost Rider.
突撃機動軍司令本部への帰還はお預けになった。レムリア隊と合流した僕たちマルコシアスは
Just so we're clear, they actually did that.
共にソロモンへと
A Ghost Rider, the fifth rider of the apocalypse.
I don't remember if he was specifically the fifth rider of the apocalypse, but historically, prior to the actual like modern Ghost Rider, there were Ghost Riders in the past that had the same contract, and one of them was a cowboy who rode on a horse.
The first Ghost Rider movie had.
I think they had him in there, yeah.
Had one of the previous Ghost Riders ride on a actual like flaming horse along with
Yes.
modern day Ghost Rider motorcycle.
There's a lot of good ideas around Ghost Rider the franchise. I wish somebody would like
Coalesce those into a good Ghost Rider story.
yes.
Hey, there is exactly one good Ghost Rider story. Much like most other things, it's the 2099 version.
That's not surprising for some strange and stupid reason.
2099, for no fucking good reason, had a ton of really good shit in it. And got zero respect. I will never understand this. Like, Doctor Doom 2099 was amazing. Spider-Man 2099 was great. Ghost Rider 2099, again, is probably the best Ghost Rider we've ever gotten in comics. Like, it is wholly inexplicable.
Now she has the vision.
And then they tried to adapt Spider-Man 2099 stuff into a sequel series from the 90s Spider-Man animated series, but still have it be Peter Parker, and he was just on like a different, not even a different planet, because it was like
it went through an alternate portal.
It was anti-Earth, basically.
It went through a portal to an alternate universe. It's called Spider-Man Unlimited.
Yeah.
It had the suit from 2099, kind of, because they still kept the basic Spider-Man eye motif from the regular suit.
But had a lot of the design and a lot of the powers of the 2099 suit.
And it was a world run by furries.
Yes.
And the bear woman wanted to, jump with boats.
Yes.
But that's because she thought he was an actual, Spider-Man.
Yes.
Now that's Man Spider. Totally different character.
There actually have been a few different people who have been giant half spider, half man things. Not to be confused with Spider's Man.
No, Spider's Man is a bunch of spiders.
Yeah.
Totally different.
There's a bunch of spiders that ate Peter Parker and gained his memories, and therefore think they are, in fact, Peter Parker.
You're just all conscious.
Oh, and Venom and Carnage were there as well.
But it was explicitly
our Venom.
Well, it wasn't our Venom and Carnage. It was the symbiotes separated from their hosts, existing as their own entities.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And there was symbiotes.
And there was
Venom
an entire planet of symbiotes, which is also actually a thing from the comics. But
yes,
it's a thing from the comics. Better off ignored, from what I remember.
What you don't want to talk about the god of symbiotes?
No.
That's the thing.
The god of symbiotes.
Yeah, no, the god of symbiotes.
And his black blade, which at one point he dropped during a fight, and it got picked up by somebody else who had a really big vengeance thing against Asgard, who became then the God Slayer.
A big Zon.
Yep. Comics are dumb, y'all. Don't get me wrong. I love them, mostly because they are dumb.
The problem is it hits both varieties of dumb, the awesome kind of dumb and the stupid kind of dumb. This is more distinctly on the second half.
Again, possibly my single favorite panel from comics. My older self went crazy and then died. I'm from the past, but stuck here now and can't make my way back to where I'm from. I hate everything about that sentence. It's comics derived into a single panel.
Yeah, basically.
The thing in comics nowadays that I'm really following is the whole thing they're doing with X-Men. Specifically because the people who have been doing X-Men for like the last few years now have just been completely shredding the entire playbook on how the X-Men work and have been doing this very audacious but at the same time very interesting like idea where Professor Xavier has given up on his vision of mutants coexisting with humans in the humans space.
Yeah, they basically took the living island and turned it into its own mutant empire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, there are some dumb fucking things even tied to that.
There's plenty of dumb stuff.
Like the entire race of weird semi-alien beings that were the original inhabitants of that island that got like banished to an alternate dimension, but now have come back and decided to wage war on the mutants that inhabit it now because they want their land back, and it becomes this very bizarre thing where technically you're still supposed to be on the side of like the X-Men and the other mutants that are living there, but when it really comes down to it, they are technically colonizers. And like the people that were like banished to the alt dimension do actually sort of have a point. It is very much the worst person you know just made a really good point, because they're not good people, but it is their land. Like,
there is an exceedingly large amount of the worst person you know just made a good point. Apocalypse is one of the advisors of Krakoa.
yeah.
Yeah, it's why I almost treat that one as just a weird and interesting kind of Elseworld, if nothing else, or What If, because it just feels off.
Yeah, but
in
it's been
certain
going
ways.
on in the main books for like 3 years now.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
doesn't
but
mean anything.
That's fine. That means they've got about a year and a half until it's quietly retconned out of existence.
Exactly. I mean,
because-
hell, it came about via a retcon in the first place.
Well, yes.
Because Marvel does sort of a regular retcon cycle to make sure things don't get ridiculous. Unlike DC, which lets things get horrifically untenable, and then every like 10 to 15 years does a full system retcon.
Mostly, and then there was New 52, which was not entirely necessary, and also, did clean up some things, didn't clean up enough.
No,
Because it was way too half-ass in commitment.
that's okay though. It mostly got retconned.
Yes. Which itself got retconned. Like twice. And now it's fuck it, everything has happened.
Yes. If your question is, well, how does this? The answer is, shut the fuck up, nerd. This is official DC editorial policy.
Is everyone actually taking this to anything in particular?
I don't think so. I think we just kind of had it because we needed a unit to put in here. Yes, there is actually some part of me that is quite enjoying the fact that current DC overall editorial policy is literally do not ask us to have everything make sense. It's comics, you fucking nerds.
How nice of you to let other units do things before you pull the Deep Striker.
The people need XP too.
Yeah, I mean, again, the thing to remember is the Deep Striker is our cleanup unit once everyone's gotten the levels they need. Although, I mean, again, some of these are also final units, like the Fenix here is not actually going to anything.
And also wholly outclasses pretty much everything else on the board.
Oh, I mean, easily. It will outclass everything until pretty much the end of this game when we're actually dealing with, like, Unicorn and Hathaway's Flash stuff. And even then, by that point, it's going to have so many levels, it's still going to outclass everything on the field. Same thing with, like, the Kshatriya here. Honestly, same thing with most of our units, frankly. Like, the Nightingale here is a CCA unit, which is literally, like, the third to last scenario in the game.
Yep.
Basically, as we mentioned last session, the general idea is we're pretty much going to have our final team by the time we end the one-year war stuff, and then we're going to stop, like, treating this game with any respect. Like, we might have to take it seriously during, like, the intro side missions where we don't have our own units, and that's about it. Like, past that point, we will eventually get the Minovsky Craft gold modification, and then we're just going to be fielding a Deep Striker and a Neo Zeong in every fucking mission.
Hang on.
Hello, boys!
I just don't want any of you to use attacks.
Like, I think technically those balls could, like, fly up and claw at things.
Know if they actually have a melee weapon?
Do the gyms default have a melee weapon? Or
No.
Okay.
Oh, the gyms? Gyms have beam
Do they? Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the gyms do, the balls... Oh, no, the balls... They do not actually give the balls the ability to go at things with the grapple claws.
Nope. And
Yeah, so
all the gyms have.
So those balls are actually completely useless now.
Yep.
As long as they are within 9 of the Neo Zeong.
Yeah, and they only have guns that range, 9. I'm sorry. So close. You got so far. Missed. Really sure, Omada? Missed a ball.
It's a small target.
I'm literally disappointed with you.
In his defense, balls are actually highly agile. Like, that actually genuinely is a complete thing about them. They are actually fairly hard to hit.
Omada, go have some fun. That one I've got no excuse for.
That was just Quechua missing.
Yeah. Yes, we actually have the bishop now. The Saikon Muzaku. We also have Guy Helmuth, Rick Dom 2.
Not to be confused with the Psycho Zaku.
Not to be confused with Psycho Zaku, it's technically separate.
Yes.
It's effectively like the prototype version of a Saikamu Zaku, but
The Psycho Zaku actually isn't a Saikamu
the Psycho
system.
Zaku is entirely separate.
Yes.
There's the Saikamu Zaku.
Yes, which has a Saikamu system, but
Which
it
is-
is a different thing from the Bishop.
Bishop. But the Bishop is basically the prototype unit
Zeong.
of a Saikamu Zaku.
Yes, and the Bishop was also eventually developed into the Zeong.
We have his Special Rock Dome, or Rick Dome 2, which has the super large heat knife or heat saber,
Yeah.
which is a heat saber that's anti-large on it. Hits like a truck. Vincent specific.
High mobility Zaku 2.
Time with Zaku 2.
The Fritz helmet Zaku 2 FC.
And he just has, we have this extra Zaku 2 around, so you get that, Albert. Fuck you.
Pretty much. Now, mind you, it is a Marcosius Zaku 2, which actually does have slightly different stats from a standard Zaku 2. Mostly, at least, in which I do not think the standard Zaku 2s in this game have the bazooka.
I don't care what any of you guys do, because you don't attach to you.
Stand there or parade formation.
Pretty much. Look, money.
That's true, we can keep them all alive. Money or XP, we have a choice.
XP seems easier to come by.
They're both easy to come by.
They're both fairly easy to come by. Either one of them, frankly, if we really needed more of between streams, we could
We
just
have
do
a
the
grind
grinding
mission
mission.
for either.
Yeah.
So we need to destroy two of the Salamuses, specifically with Dozel Zombie.
Yeah, with the big Zom.
That's why you're off targeting the Salamis.
Yep.
That's why I was not blowing up the Salamuses. Because it is destroy two, can you destroy two of Dozels? We can't destroy any of them on Dozel. But as soon as we do two, it'll skip the finish
Yep.
the event.
It's very important we get the special so we can get more money, I guess.
Principal.
I realize you can't shoot me, but this is still funny.
あなたの相手をしてるほど暇じゃないんですよ
Punch. You chose that. There were other targets. Gotta get rid of that Neo Zeon so we can actually attack something else.
I mean, to their credit, they're actually landing hits on some of our units, which is pretty impressive for fucking generic Federation pilots piloting gyms.
Sent their elites. Yeah, but I need it out of the way of the big zone.
Oh, true enough.
This is more of, I need a way for it to get through to get to the Salamis. Then he's destroy that and then move up and try and get the other one.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know if that will do it on its own. So.
Gas attack into it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it easily would have, but still doesn't hurt to be safe.
Somebody capital, but I don't care. So now we can hit for about 18,000, so...
Yeah, just blink it or something.
Enough there.
Strike assist should work.
I don't need the damage. I need
Accuracy. Yeah. I don't know that we have it as everything. Yeah. It's fine. It's still like an 88%, I think it was. It's 82. Yeah, 66 after modifiers. Still. Yeah.
I forget which side Gundam thing was. Is this Missing Link or is this?
This is Missing Link.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Battle of Solomon via the Missing Link crew, so Marcosius. We are actually almost done with 1 year war. Because we basically have this and then 0080. And that'll be the end of actual 1 year war content in this game. And we briefly move on to some weird shit that I'm still baffled is in this game, and then 0083.
weird shit you're baffled is in this game.
Battlefield record 0081. I still don't.
It's UC. It's in the game.
There's plenty of UC stuff that is not in this game.
How'd the Gundam even do that? It can't shoot. It's too close. You can't see him. Enemies. Jim Sniper 2s.
Yep.
Do I have one of the Universal Capture skills?
I remember somebody did. I don't remember who.
I have one of the leader units.
I have a battleship cannon too.
I do remember you using it.
Might have been on one of the guest units last time or something. I swear
don't
we
get-
have.
We don't get skills from guest units.
Yeah.
So.
I swear we
it
have.
It might be on.
All those two.
You'd have to go to the salvage. There it is.
Okay, so it's on the Sandstorm.
Yeah.
I can't do it
On the carry base. I mean, that being said, we may as well capture the units that are in capture range and stuff that can capture anyway.
Yeah, basically everything.
Remember
Hi,
the,
Amaro.
Remember the 78 showed up at Solomon and got attacked by a Banshee Nord piloted by Amon Kar and the Neo Zeon?
物が来やすいな落ちるがいい
I'm not quite
That
down.
didn't kill him.
I can still fight.
この後も予定がいっぱいあるんですから早く終わらせてください
That killed him. Bye, Amaro.
Yeah, I don't remember the Battle of Saltman going that way.
This must be some fake Amaro. We all know Amaro's a little bit south of where we are right now.
Unicorn full armor.
Meanwhile, our Amuro looking over. Good times.
Also, how many times have you guys appeared at the Battle of Solomon at this point?
Like 4, I think.
They're back again.
On which side? I think both at the same time somehow.
Solomon, 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 we have returned.
Made a barbershop quartet.
Of themselves. It's just insulting at this point.
Oh, he's real angry now.
I would love if, like, by the second or third time, they acknowledge that you've been here multiple times, and the enemy unit was the one you brought the last time, and you have to have a fight with your own group. Or that's like the unknown that shows up. The timeline just gets more and more muddled as you play through.
Here's me coming through.
Because that's necessary.
I mean, it
Yes,
gets,
Max
it gets XP on the units that are supporting. That's really all it's for.
Yeah.
You know, it's not necessary.
Did nearly twice its hit points by itself.
Yep.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yeah, need 4 on it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Is that?
This is a character that's not a new typing yet.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like, funnels still work without any awaken. They are just, any Psychomy weapon is better if you have awaken.
Yeah.
It increases range, it increases accuracy, it increases damage. But, like, the base stats on funnels are still actually usually pretty solid. At least enough so to clear out, like, grunt trash.
It's just hilarious imagining a non-new type trying to use funnels.
So, like, a vein bulging out on their forehead as they're like...
That's just one.
The goal right now is just to clean up the units.
Yep.
Yep, just kill everything on screen. That being said, we kind of try and focus a little bit on getting levels on the things that need levels. So.
Yeah.
Hit the Nightingale.
Huh?
You survived an attack and hit the Nightingale.
Yeah. Like I said, these gym pilots are apparently really fucking impressive. I don't know where the Federation found these guys, but they need to get more of them. Yeah, like that being said, too, we will also get better opportunities for leveling as we get deeper in, because that's the other thing, too, is that, like, stuff like this, these gyms, like, they offer the same amount of XP as gyms always have, but we're in way more powerful units than we were earlier in the game. So comparatively, we get way less of a level out of these than we would out of later grunt stuff even. Because yeah, the amount of XP a unit is worth is actually fairly commensurate to its power.
That makes sense.
The only real exception being warships, which ostensibly are very powerful, but in practice are trash.
Well, they have giant weak points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, if you actually let warships survive long enough to actually, like, do stuff in combat, they can actually lay a pretty decent hurt on your units. The problem is that they generally take, like, 2 hits, even from not super powered units, just because of the pinpoint accuracy strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, so compared to, like, current stat stuff, so, like, here's a gym.
Yeah.
Has, like, 110.
Yeah. Yeah, things that are in, like, the 150 range are generally considered super units.
Salamis has 160 attack, so the Salamis has the same attack stat as the Gundam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's gonna do more damage.
But the Gundam doesn't have a glaring weak point that causes it to take, like, double damage.
Or
And
other
also-
weapons that are specifically anti-large that do
Yeah.
damage to it.
Yeah, it doesn't have an actual, like, weapon type that is specifically designed to fuck it. Although there is a skill.
There is
Gundam Killer.
Yeah.
Yazan has it.
It does.
Mostly because he hasn't unlocked anything more worthwhile to put on him yet.
Good job, Coronado.
Yeah.
Oh.
That might be worth swapping out something on him for. I was trying to remember what it was he actually had currently. I know there's the one that's like that we're going to be keeping on because it's the like energy HP
We can
regen.
check after the,
But yeah.
Yeah, because leadership actually matters for leader units.
It's basically just a flat-out boost to your command skill. Which affects things like your leader range and stuff like that, which is all very important for most of the leader stuff.
Way to go, guys.
we could have one of those if we wanted. It's slow as shit.
Yes.
Big one in the middle.
Yeah. Yes, it is incredibly so. I think it's got like a move like 3 or 4.
It's also hilariously large, even by the standards of this game.
It is
Yes.
hilariously large.
It's one of the few things that almost sort of looks like it could fit the Deep Striker.
Again, as we've established, it's a purely perspective thing.
Yeah.
The Deep Striker is not nearly as large as it actually appears to be, and the warships are way bigger than they actually appear to be.
Oh, that was an idea he had.
Yep. my lack of energy.
And here's these things that can do nothing.
Yep. Only range attacks. Have fun. Yeah, like the thing to remember at the Deep Striker is let's see, control, I have to go to it. So, like, the Gundam thing in the middle there is an actual Gundam.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you can kind of scale from
Like, that's the like the XS is large compared to like the 78 or most other Gundams. It's fairly big, but it's not like warship big.
Yeah.
Just this scale makes it look absolutely massive. I mean, it is big, but it's not.
Yeah, it's just the SD style makes it.
Yeah.
Well, and also, again, the thing we pointed out that is if they actually scaled the warships to be at proper scale based on the actual mobile suits, they would take up like 40 fucking squares.
Yeah.
Yes, we could also have the Dolos with an amazing move of 4.
Like, again,
yeah.
the white base is 262 meters long.
Yeah.
Like, it is not nearly as small as it appears in scale with everything else here.
What's up now?
To translate to American, by the way, that's about the size of a football field.
Much more than
That's
football.
much larger than a football field.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah, you're right, never mind. Size of several football
A
fields.
meter is more than a yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it
It
is.
is about 3 football
It
fields.
is, it is roughly 3 football fields in length. The Neo Zeon, for perspective, which in this style looks like it is ostensibly like 3 times the size of White Base, is actually roughly half the size of White Base. It's 116 meters tall.
Yeah.
Like, granted, it still wouldn't fit in the White Base.
Yeah. Likewise.
No, this thing is actually ridiculous.
Yeah.
Likewise, the head you see on that is a Gundam. Or it's a mobile suit, not a Gundam. It's the Sanamju.
Yeah.
The Neo Zeon is, in fact, a big thing that Sanamju gets inside of.
It's a little bit more evident actually on the sprite than it is in the close-up there, because you can actually kind of more distinctly see the little like divider line where the thing like clicks over it. You can actually sort of see
like
the shoulders of the Sananju there
in the middle. Yep. And part of the chest.
But yeah, so like that, which is 3 times the size of White Base on field, or like, you know, or larger than White Base on field, is actually like half the size of the White Base. Again, they did not bother to try actually doing scaling for the warships accurately because who fucking cares? No, actually, it's about the same size as the White Base on
It's
field.
the same size as the White Base on field, but it's half the size.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of scaling, particularly on sprites, is literally just done for mechanical purposes more so than accuracy. Like, big units are going to take up a 3x3 or 3x4. Like, that's just how it's going to work.
Also, considering the fact that this is effectively a mobile suit for mobile suit, at what point do you have to admit to yourselves that your engineers are basically 12-year-olds?
In fairness, the Neo Zeon is considered a mobile armor, not a mobile suit.
Yes, but that's what I mean. That a mobile armor, which is effectively a mobile suit for mobile suits.
Kind of.
Not
I mean, that,
all mobile armors.
no,
Not all of them, but in this particular case, it is.
I mean, it's a pretty standard thing. I mean, that's like basically the Deep Striker is kind of the same thing. It is basically they took the bottom half off the XS and shoved a fucking warship engine up its butthole instead.
Also,
like
the GPO-3 Dendrobium is
Yeah.
just a giant
like station that
Armor, weapons,
that the stain.
platform.
Yeah, there's the pistol and stamen. And
I'm just saying it lives well within the rule of cool more than anything else.
I mean, ish. Like it is.
I mean, the deep striker at least has some feasible logic to it, and the Neo Zeong is a pile of nonsense. But
I mean,
Space magic.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's like it's yes, it is taken to the nth degree, but it is essentially the extension of something we already actually do with some military equipment, wherein they essentially have sort of swappable like packs that you can add on to a thing for certain missions or whatever. It's basically like it's effectively the equivalent of having like the ability to put like a additional set of gear on something. Like let's say you have like an artillery piece and you want to be able to have it like use its same targeting system and everything, but launch rockets as well as have a big cannon. You can add a rocket launcher unit to the thing rather than redesigning it from the ground up.
It's just the excessive option considering it's
Yeah, it's, like I said, it's to the nth degree, but it really is. It's just a base station for the thing to dock into that adds additional armaments and abilities.
The better example of that is the G line.
Yes,
I think it's actually in this game.
it is.
the G line.
So the G line is actually a unit that specifically has different packs that it essentially equips on to field different situations.
It's basically a frame with a bunch of like different like armor and equipment options, and the way they handle this game is actually really cool because you get the G line,
And then
and
you
then
actually
anytime you go to the ship, you can swap out what setup it's in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is-
Which ostensibly, if you were actually trying to justify like mobile suits in any sane way, is probably one of the biggest advantages they
Hey, look,
actually
it's
do
out of
have. Is
Elgato.
the very quick
He was at
ability
Solomon.
Solomon,
I
am
will
here.
return here.
for the first time.
This is a
But
fact.
yeah, the quick swapping of weapons is one of the legitimate advantages you can actually imagine from a mobile suit.
Yeah.
Because it's just a matter of
Well, and for the G line, it is more than just weapons. It is like full-on
armor
equipment
and-
packs. It's
yeah.
armor. It's additional like gear, like detection gear and stuff like that. Because I believe the G line has like a recon version that is more lightly armored, but has a bunch of like detection equipment, stuff like that. And then a further extension, which is not in this game, but which is a major thing, is the F90 and like F91 and all the sort of F90
has the
derived
ability to turn into a spaceship.
has a whole ton. Okay. So the F90 A to Z project is coming up with a bunch of extra bullshit, some of which is utterly ridiculous.
It's a space shuttle.
But the actual core thing of like the whole like F90, F91, like that whole
Is the variable
series
packs.
is variable packs that can actually just be sort of swapped in and out for different uses.
Sometimes it's spaceship.
Also,
Yeah.
as an aside, was there ever a mass-produced mobile armor?
The
Technically,
big
yes.
sum was supposed to be.
I mean, there is the MP Psycho Zaku, or Psycho Gundam.
There's a mass-produced Psycho Gundam.
Which, granted, is actually smaller than the base Psycho Gundam. It is actually more in the realm of large mobile suits than the size of a typical mobile armor, but it was effectively a mass-produced mobile armor. There's also technically the Divinidad, where there were 8 of them.
Mass-produced, specifically produced. Like they were planning on mass-producing the.
Considering
The big row was also mass-produced. Yeah, like it is actually a thing. Mobile armors were not specifically
All one-offs?
They were not actually most of them were not intended to ever be one-offs anyways. A lot of the ones you see are in some degree like prototype units that just never made it through the testing phase to be mass-produced, but none of them were built with the intention of, oh, we're going to make like one of these. They made 2 Neo Zeongs.
They did make 2 Neo Zeons.
Like, that kind of ends the discussion there. It's like, no, mobile armors are not intended to be one-off things. They are intended to be large but fieldable multiple units.
No, I kind of assume that. You don't just... It's like, here's an entire line of things that are entirely unique. It's like, we make more than one of battleships and carriers.
Yeah.
I mean...
No,
obviously.
The weird
but-
situations are things like the Deep Striker, where they made 0.
Yes. The Deep Striker exists on paper.
Yeah, the Deep Striker was theorized for a particular purpose, and then they were like, no, that's dumb. We're going to do this instead.
The one-off mobile armor is almost entirely mobile weapons. Big definitive mobiles.
Basically, yeah. It's a lot of like new type technology and test technology stuff, and they were like, okay, this is something like we designed this and we can't fit it into like a regular mobile suit, so we're going to throw it into this mobile armor to test it, and then once it's proven itself to be effective, we'll look about possibly like developing it and like
So most
miniaturizing.
non-mobile armors were doing actual mass production stuff.
Yeah.
That's the only real thing that it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and even then, even the ones that were like new type technology test units, a lot of them were done with the intention of we are going to test this in the mobile armor, and if it proves effective, we will focus more on development of that new type technology to help miniaturize it so it can be in mobile
Case in
suits.
point, the Noya Zeal's half control system became
Yep.
the basis for the quasi-psychomu, which got used in a lot of suits.
Yeah, exactly. They typically would use them as test units of like, hey, we figured out this technology. We haven't put enough time and money and resources into making it viable to put into mass-produced mobile suits yet, but we want to make sure that it's worth investing that time into. There's surprisingly a lot of thought into their bullshit space magic.
Also, like,
Basically, they
industrial complex. Don't forget, Yannick, Zimad, and MIP were fighting each other, and MIP were the mobile armor guys.
Yeah, we have talked about that a bit last session when we were talking about like who came up with the various different mobile armors and like where the naming schemes come from and all that. But yeah, there were like on the Federation side, it was pretty much just Anaheim Electronics, and then there was like the one unit within the Federation that was actually doing their own in-house mobile suit development. But on the Xeon side, there were actually 3 major corporations that were doing development of these things, and they were all actually in competition with each other for contracts and stuff.
The other thing about mobile armors is that a lot of times in the series, mobile armor, like, the scale of the conflicts are huge, and the devastation that the conflicts all cause is massive, but the time frame of these conflicts are all very short.
Yeah.
There's a reason they call it the one-year war. So by the time they realize they need bigger, more powerful weapons like the mobile armors, whether or not they're dealing with new type magic horseshit at the moment, it's like halfway through the war, and by the time they would get to a point where they're like, okay, we now have a prototype that we can mass produce, the war's already over.
Yeah, again, the big Zom
That
was
and
intended for mass.
also considering the timeline, the technology moves at an incredibly quick pace.
Yeah, like again, the Big Zom was intended for mass production. This was Solomon. The war was going to be over in like less than a week.
Yeah.
Like this was it. This was basically they took down Solomon. They went to Abalaku. That's the end of the war. Like
Oh, right. They have the multiple launch rocket system.
they do have the MLRS for the O2. Yes. I don't check it though real quick. I don't. Yeah, it loses the atomic.
Yes, it
bazooka
does not
if
have
we
the
go to
atomic,
that.
but it has the missile launch system.
I think, I mean, we can go to that, but I think our plan is for the final version to have the base GPO too, because we like the atomic bazooka too much.
I like hitting the button.
We like the war crime cannon.
Yeah, like, I don't... The one-year war lasted the longest period of time. I don't think there's been a conflict in Gundam since then, in, like, mainline UC Gundam, since then, that has lasted more than a month.
So,
Maybe
technically speaking, there were actually a lot longer conflicts than that, but they were for the most part Cold Wars.
Cold Wars, skirmish fighting.
Technically speaking, there was a war against Neo Zeon, which lasted for years. There just weren't actually many direct conflicts during that because Neo Zeon were kind of off over here, and the Earth sphere was off over here, and they both kind of just eyeballed each other from across space for a while. Like, that's the thing to remember, is the one-year war ended, and it's not like Zeon disappeared. Zeon Remnants and Neo Zeon existed at that point and were still technically officially in conflict with the Federation. They just weren't necessarily at full war, and then eventually they did go into full war, but it was more of a, like, shaking fists at each other of, like, we still don't like you, assholes. That's fine. We don't like you either. But no actual shots fired for a while. Did we check Coronado?
It's leadership, which is the one that increases command.
Yeah, I know that, but what do they currently have?
The control area increase.
Right.
This one's just HP.
Flat HP and NG, and then the other one is
And the other one has
recovery. Okay, yeah, no, it's not worth it to switch them out. I couldn't remember. I knew there was one of our created characters that had like one that was on there where we were just like, doesn't have anything better.
You got this. Yeah.
That might be Rancho Chipotle, though, now that I think about it.
Broken Grave.
But yes, Krampus does have a point. For most of the quote-unquote hot conflicts post-1-year war, they were very brief, at most a few months in like span, which is not enough time to really focus.
It's enough time to
development.
like break out a mobile armor from the mothballs and go, man, this thing looks powerful. I bet it'll solve insert whatever.
Or just in general stuff that like they were developing
yeah.
outside of the aspect of being in an active war, but just like, hey, what if we gave a Gundam an atomic bazooka kind of stuff?
And there was no one around smart enough to say that's a dumb idea.
That's kind of just the conceit of the series.
Welcome,
no one around.
welcome to Federation leadership. They're actually more likely to be like, that's awesome. We're going to give you a ton of money to do this.
Yeah, I know.
War crime cannon, sign me up.
Look, treaties and
Did you account for the fact that we get a mobile suit stolen every week?
No, they never account for this because they never do anything to stop it. This isn't unique to 1-year war.
No,
I know.
Later on, Zeta,
technically
Double
that's
Zeta,
post 1-year war.
Strictly speaking, other than the fact that it was in a way actually designed in a tentative form, but Usher steals the fucking unicorn.
Yes. Judao steals the Zeta too.
The Vist Foundation.
The Double Zeta.
The Vist Foundation. Yes, he does steal the Zeta.
He steals
first,
the Zeta, then steals
then
the
steals
Double
the
Zeta.
later.
In fact, half the stories that occur in that series are various characters stealing mobile suits.
He stole the Double Zeta with the permission of Science, but not
That being
Like,
said,
Beachhead spends half the series stealing mobile suits.
That's half the series selling them out.
that being said, there's not half as much mobile suit stealing in Double Zeta as there is in Gundam X, whose main character is literally a mobile suit thief. Like, that's what he does for a living.
It's just like, at a
That
certain
would
point,
actually make for an interesting stealth
you
game.
make a fucking key.
Like, the story doesn't center around him being a mobile suit thief, but that is literally, like I was saying in the first episode, he literally steals the control stick for the X from a vault and then goes and steals the X.
Yeah, in X, they have keys. It doesn't matter. He
And
just
that is,
steals them.
and that is,
No,
and
they
that
have a
is-
universal key, which is dumb and
No,
doesn't
they
fix
don't.
the problem.
No, they don't.
It's
That's the
unique to
thing.
each.
It's not wholly unique. There are some that share the same one, but like, no. The Gundam X's control stick is the control stick for the Gundam X. It doesn't like work in other Gundams. He just steals that control stick and then steals the Gundam
And to be
X.
fair, those keys only apply to the Gundams, not to regular mobile
Yeah,
suits.
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
make a passcode you have to put in to activate the fucking system. Something.
Handprint.
And even more so, let's be real here, if Tomino really wanted to make a series that was all about stealing mobile suits, he already did that. It's called Zabungle.
Yes. Yes, he did.
Zabungle, where every third or fourth episode they steal another robot.
Oh, Zabungo.
And it never stops either, literally all the way to the end of the series. Like, the second to last episode, they steal another robot.
They were throwing it out on the sidewalk.
Had a sign. He had a cardboard sign. It said free. Take it.
We put it there. It was still there. I have a picture.
Also, for reference, Zabungle also has the funniest culmination of all things. So we have like these big land battleships, but what if we had one that also turned itself into a giant robot?
Gas-powered giant battleships.
Oh yes, also all the giant robots in Zabungle are gas powered,
Sure, why not?
and at least have
Are
at least have
gas powered and controlled by
by
a
steering
fucking
wheel
steering
and pedals.
wheel.
Don't ask questions.
Like half them like cars that turn into robots.
So this Zabungle, it's like a car with a trailer that like links in, kind of like the
Yes,
core fighter
and
system.
then turns
Gundam,
into a robot.
And turns into a robot.
But the core of it is still like a regular vehicle, like a
Yes.
truck.
I mean, it's a flying car, but
Fair. Oh, look, another pixie.
Yep.
Oh, no, Ripper's pixie. Okay.
Yeah, that is Ripper's Pixie, and Doris took it.
Ripper's Pixie sounds like a good band name.
Yes, because at this point, although I don't remember if they know this or not, this is the point where Fred Reber has already basically taken over the. I believe he's already taken over the Ifrit. I don't remember offhand if the other guy had died yet or not. Either way, he's no longer with his pixie. Okay, so we do have a couple extra missions here that are not stated. I believe they are both the... Yeah, I believe they're both second section because of the way they're worded. So the gold mod is have a Marcosius member destroy the Magellan within 3 turns. So that's going to be the second part, which is space. Yeah, it's going to be in space. And the other one is... it is going to be, again, I believe the second part, when the Pale Rider shows up. You have to have Liberio, Guy, and Anrose each engage the Pale Rider, then have Vincent destroy it.
So have everyone but Vincent engage it, then have Vincent finish it off.
I mean, technically, Vincent can engage it beforehand, as long as each of the others still get a chance to fight it, and Vincent gets the killing blow.
Yeah.
But that one we're slightly less concerned with, because all that'll do is get us Vincent and Travis as a recruitable pilots, neither of which we're going to recruit anyways. The one that we're really more concerned with is making sure that we have a Marcosius member destroy the Magellan within 3 turns, so that we can get the gold mod, which will hopefully, God willing, be our Minovsky craft.
Can hope.
If that is a Minovsky craft, we will be very quickly purchasing like 2 of those, maybe more, and throwing them on stuff and going through real quick to do one of the two scenario missions on extra difficulty in order to unlock the Silver Bullet Fin Funnels type. If we do not get the Minovsky craft out of this, we will probably just be going to be doing like one of the grinding missions or something to fill in to kill more time, but that is dependent upon when we actually end this mission. I assume we will probably still have time because it's only like 2:15 right now, and I very seriously doubt this is going to take an hour and 45 minutes.
God willing. God willing.
But yeah, we'll see how it shakes out. At the very least, I will say that next time, one way or another, we will be doing the unlocking the Silver Bullet Fin Funnels, because after we're done with this, if we do not get the Minovsky craft off of this one, we will be doing 0080 next time, which is a 2-scenario mission wherein our units are entirely deployed in space, which means we can just deploy the Deep Striker and Neo Zeong anyways. So what we may very well be doing next time is going through 0080, then immediately going through 0080 again, but on extra difficulty, with all of our stupidly overpowered units fielded in order to get through it and then unlock these Silver Bullet Fin Funnels.
Ow.
Yeah.
That's everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Everything. we go.
Also, in a entirely another issue, probably not the brightest idea to rush the critically damaged pixie in towards the end.
You don't get the automatic energy regen on these ones.
Does it actually have a carrier?
Yep.
Hell.
There was a 3-turn thing anyways.
Ah.
The goal was destroy 9 enemies in 3 turns because this happens.
Destroy some enemies.
9 enemies in 3
9
turns.
enemies. Ah, okay.
Which, again, not actually
No,
supremely
good
difficult
units.
in this instance, because we have the slave raids, which are actually good units and are well balanced against the things they are throwing against us.
You have a team of basically better Gundams. They're punching.
You're indeed taking damage.
Everyone heal gets married to that?
Yeah, I mean, we do lose if any of them die, so...
Yeah, that makes sense. Have to move first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's over a wall, so all the things that happen in there can actually deploy from that spot.
retreat for a turn.
And maximize your turn economy.
Pixie is supercharged for the auto super crit. So it could probably do a fair amount of work on that heavy fork.
Yeah.
Don't know if it would be able to one-shot it, but...
It's okay, we have 3 units.
Yep.
Done 2 actions.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you have one enemy unit left. You've got 1 action left.
That's more 1 supports I can do.
Yeah.
Double damage or pinpoint, but I can just have everyone supporting if I don't do it.
It's going to be a guaranteed super crit for the Pixie as well, so... Yep, there we go.
Old Man Jenkins.
As it turns out, we're all actually Grave. Confusingly.
Grave is the Hades system. You have to say kaboom and set up your explosives.
Kaboom!
He'll be up powerless.
And if your ghost. Ooh.
それから数日後、レビル将軍の死去が伝えられた。ジオンのデギン皇王との和平交渉の際、ソーラレイの一撃で艦隊ごと消滅したと聞く。これで和平の可能性はついえてしまったが、この戦争ももうじき連邦の勝利として終わるだろう。気がかりなのはヴィンセントだ。今空では最後の戦いが繰り広げられている。でも奴のことだ。きっと生き抜くに違いない。何せ約束したんだ。生き抜いて終戦を迎えたら 俺が愛した食堂で飯を食おうってな。
The space. Yeah, I think Doug Schneid dies defending the HLVs, but
ReBirth does not.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Hence why he's later on piloting the Freak.
Yeah. The Schneider Freak.
The Freak Schneid.
The Freak Schneider.
As opposed
But
to
to
Doug
Doug
Schneid's
Schneid's
Freak
Freak.
Custom.
Yeah.
I said before, one of the best things about Missing Link is that you do play as both sides, but both teams are actually good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, here's the like conniving, clearly evil bad guys, and then the actually who gives a shit like Federation guys or whatever. It's like both the Marcosius team and the Slave Wraiths are all good characters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like even with Marcosius, like right now fighting on the side of Xeon and Abako, like the characters are still good.
Yeah.
Oh shit! So the gold was that the everyone fights?
The gold is the Marcosius member destroys the Magellan within 3 turns.
Magellan's then throws. Okay.
The Vincent as
Is
a recruitable
everyone
pilot
like-
is having, not everyone, it is specifically Liberio, Guy, and Anna Rose. Nobody gives a shit about Albert.
Of course not. He's a shitty Zaku too. Who cares? You have guns too.
Also Johnny Ridley.
Oh shit, Johnny Ridden. Crimson Lightning.
Surprise!
The Chimera Corps.
It's Chimera. There's a very odd transliteration job.
Aren't you that Char Aznable guy?
No, they are well aware of who Johnny Ridden is. And also, as was noted there, Johnny Ridden is the one responsible for getting Marcosius their special mobile suits.
No, it's just the thing that always annoys Johnny Ridden. is
Yes.
that people is mistaken for being
Char Aznable,
for Char
yes.
Aznable, the red comics. He paints his shit with everything red. Even though he is an ace pilot in his own right.
Yes. And yes, Johnny Ridden is responsible for Marcosius getting their special mobile suit units. explicitly because, if I remember correctly from the whole backstory, Johnny Ridden actually used to serve with Doug Schneid.
Ah.
From Magellan in 3 turns.
Yeah, so if the special objective is just to destroy the Magellan within 3 turns, we have to explicitly have one of the Marcosius members do it on for the last shot, basically. And that does not include Johnny.
One of the 2 of them.
Pretty much.
What? It's my defensive Neo Zeal. They can't destroy my guest units if they can't fucking shoot.
I mean, you can clear out all the stuff about with your normal ones.
We need it for press turns.
I almost certainly need it for press turns.
Ah.
That's the thing. We could probably...
that's also why I sorted nothing on the first turn besides the Neo Zeal.
Yeah. We can absolutely use our normal units to weaken stuff to make sure that Marcosius can actually kill it.
Yep.
Although it's, again, not super hard because Marcosius does actually have decent units. But, yeah. No, we will need these things for press turns to be able to get there on time. Yeah, realistically, Guy is probably the more useful one to
With
go
the
for the Magellan
sword.
because of those. Yeah, because of the anti-large beam sword he's got.
Yep, that's my plan.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Vincent's my backup.
Yep.
価値あるものはすでに俺たちの手の中にある。マルコシアス隊、この戦線を突破するぞ。
That one ball in particular.
Good job, GM Cold District type. One more level.
Yeah.
think is all the new Gundam needs, because we're just trying to get to behind it.
I knew, yeah. I'm pretty sure that was set 4, yeah. Check real quick, but... Yep.
It counts.
Okay, now it's just turned our back. It's back to us.
I mean, hey, it's a really effective way to make sure that Magellan does fuck all. Because warships don't have melee weapons.
It can't counterattack if it can't shoot.
I was just rubbing its ass in our face.
Save. Remember, you can save mid-mission. Back out. Square, do a save here.
Like, I don't think I'll destroy it with a regular attack non-crit, but just to be safe.
Yeah. No, I do a whole fuck ton of mid-mission saves in Overworld because there are so many special objectives in Overworld, and it is so easy to fuck up any one of them.
Okay, only 14. There's 8k left.
Yeah, you might need to like something with that to get another press turn out of the Yep.
Should be good.
Should be alright though. Vincent's a fairly solid pilot regardless.
Sorry about that. I had to take care of something. My continuing quest to upgrade my computer. There's a not insignificant amount of money on it, and it has the worst drive bay upgrades.
Should go to the quest, The Fallen Beast.
We should be able to do both in this mission then?
Yeah. I'm out.
Hey, Johnny. Thanks for showing up.
Hey, it's the famous red comet.
God damn it!
That's Johnny Ridden, the Crimson Lightning. Thank you very much. These guys actually know who Johnny Ridden is. As went over earlier, he gave them their suits. You're all aces already.
Yeah, that
you
is
are an ace team.
That is the whole thing, is that Marcosius, even though they are treated somewhat like an Omega company, in actuality are one of the most recognized teams in the Xeon forces. If nothing else, because of Doug Schneid, who is a legendary pilot.
Oh look, more garbage.
Look out, Xeon, we're throwing garbage at you.
But yes, for reference, Johnny Ridden specifically is effectively one of the 3 top aces of Xeon during the 1 Year War, all of which coincidentally have color names.
So Red Comet.
There is Shar the Red Comet Asnable, Johnny Crimson Lightning Ridden, and Shin White Wolf Matsunaga.
We like the color names. We also know at least Rambaral, the Blue Giant.
Yes, but Rambaral was not actually considered one of the top aces of Xeon. He is just he's a legendary leader, but he's not actually considered a quote unquote ace per se.
Famous enough to get named, though. They call him.
Yeah.
Every now and then he's the Blue Giant.
Yes, he is the Blue Giant, but he is mostly just well respected as he's been a soldier with Xeon since before Xeon existed, basically.
Decent for armor and money being paid, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's why he got to go to the Gundam or Gunpla Afterlife and just be like a guy who sits around. He just gets how to play
Cool
Gunpla
grandpa.
battles. Hit on another dude's wife.
Becomes a special advisor and runs the advisor for the Gunpla triple team.
Yep.
Bastard managed to
Yeah, dudes.
Those are just the mystery units.
Well, you see,
we
we killed the Magellans fast enough that it broke the timeline.
I mean, Gundam 2 was made before the end of the 1 Year War, but I'm pretty damn sure they did.
They were not fielded at Abaku.
Okay. Everyone but Vincent, right?
Specifically, everyone but Vincent and Albert, because fuck Albert.
In fairness, the Neo Xeon also was not filled at all. Okay.
But yeah, we need to have Liberio, Guy, and Anarose all engage the Pale Rider, and then Vincent finish it. Now, the important thing to remember is they are all also still caution marked, so we can't have the Pale Rider kill any of them. That's the actual hard part of this challenge.
That's why they're falling back this turn.
Yeah, that's like the actual hard part of this challenge is none of them fucking dying.
Next turn we can move the Neo Xeon back over to be our anti-attack deal.
We're aces. I'm gonna go spit in God's eyes. Oh no. Actually,
God was angry.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
All these fucking balls flying around in the Neo Xeon's interdiction field, just like fucking whelp. Ain't this some bullshit?
Maybe if I get out, they'll stop caring that I exist.
600 hours of simulator training. This giant fucking red space dildo shows up and turns off my fucking cannon.
It's impressive that through new type bullshit magic he can turn off bullets.
I think it's actually supposed to be representing the puppeting of things nearby.
No, because he has an attack that does that.
No, he doesn't attack the puppets, the Jingans. That's true.
If you actually look, it'll give a name to the effect to explain what it's supposed to be representing. Yeah, the intention on the Psycho Shard, I think is what it is. Yeah.
Yep.
I have managed to turn off your bullets. What? Click, click. Son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, the Minovsky particles can do basically disable physics. Like it happens.
Psycho Frame can't.
Well, yeah, Psycho Frame can cause Minovsky particles to shut off physics, basically.
Yeah, because Minovsky
More so than they already do.
Well, that Minovsky physics followed our episode just fine until Psycho Frame gets involved.
Look what time it is.
Yes. Solomon, that was last week.
Team Mom, kill them.
This was not my intention.
It's actually exactly my intention.
This is during the 1 year war, so the Antarctic Treaty is still in effect. This is absolutely, actually a war crime.
There's no Antarctica in space. Fools.
Well, you're welcome here. You're welcome to come up here and tell me no.
I mean, the GPO2 was basically designed as, we're going to commit a war crime, right? Oh, we're going to commit a war crime so hard.
It was not technically a war crime at the time the GPO2 was designed. The Antarctic Treaty was a wartime treaty which stopped being in effect as soon as the 1 year war was over. There was nothing against using nuclear weapons after that.
I thought, wasn't there
Except
specifically
common
about
sense and
that
logic.
The GPO2 started design during the 1 year war, or was that just afterwards?
No, the Gundam project was not started until after 1 year war. Yeah, they still would have gotten their shit shredded in the court of public opinion, but they were not technically doing anything illegal.
The Delaw's fleet's argument that it was still back because they had never
Official, yeah, they had never like the Delaw's fleet was like, no, we never accepted the
the divisions of surrender. Like,
yeah.
you should still abide by the treaty because we are still fighting for it.
Because this one rogue fleet didn't surrender.
I mean,
It was the primary remaining fleet of the Xeon remnants, but
Yeah.
it was basically the Delaw's. The Delaw's only brought up the Antarctic. They themselves must not.
it was their justification for stealing the Gundam with the war crime cannon.
And then using the Gundam.
Yeah.
Fire out was hard situation, yes.
Yeah.
It is villainous of you to develop this Gundam with the war crime cannon. And to prove it, we're going to steal the Gundam with the war crime cannon and then fire the war crime cannon at you.
Look what you made us do.
We're the good guys in this situation.
No, much like a lot of Gundam, everyone is the bad guy.
I like Annabelle Gatto as a character. I would never go on record and say that Annabelle Gatto was a good guy.
Well, Annabelle Gatto is part of a team that is like, the less leader that Kieran was, you know that the Nazis is the problem. The only good thing they did regarding the only good aspect of the element attack they do was that Solomon completely military target. That is the only upside.
A military target in space, so it's less of an issue that you're firing a nuke.
Yes. That was basically the only thing that puts them above any of the ships in orbit during the war.
Yeah.
Was that they attacked? If they attacked, they were either.
Yeah.
As opposed to dropping a bomb on Earth or something. That's not the only thing that gives us Nazis.
What I do want to get my hands on is green. The last one they made. You can do some wild timeline stuff in Gieran's green. Unfortunately, that would not make for a very good stream.
Run away so we can shoot. Change this.
This ship can certainly take on this massive pile of guns and armor.
What about this one? Can this one, Jim, take on a massive pile of guns and armor?
Steve and David didn't make it. I'll try. Bounce around. Kill a dozen units that are on the field.
We just zoom out and do them all at the same time. That'd be great.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Again, this will be much better when we're playing Overworld via an emulator and therefore have a fast forward button.
It is nice when you have technological duct tape.
Or technological grease in this case.
Obviously, we can kind of talk a little bit more about it when we get to that actual section, but since we keep referencing 0083 because, you know, Solomon and us having the GPO2 around, apparently the manga adaptation of 0083, 0083 Rebellion, is super kick-ass and also expands upon some characters that don't get a whole ton of like actual character development in 0083. Most notably, Seema Garaho gets a shit ton more character development in 0083 Rebellion, to the point where she hardcore fucking doms a female pilot underneath her who's like super like obsessed with her, and just like has like all these wonderful interactions with her. Just like, we're going to turn against Delaz and join up the Fetties in order to make the best use of the Marines. You have a problem with that? I'll throw you off the fucking ship. He wants like, I'm ready to do whatever you say, Miss Seema.
I want you to throw me off the ship.
Yeah, so as I was saying, is 0083 Rebellion, the manga adaptation, does a bunch more with Seema Garaho.
There's a lot more of a lot of things. They bring in a lot of nice retcons too. Like there's a whole team of Federation spec ops who come in.
Yeah, no, the 0083 Rebellion is really good. And like, while 0083 is not bad, 0083 Rebellion is absolutely the better version of it. Yeah. Oh boy, more Awaken.
Always need more Awaken.
I'm pretty sure that the author and artist of 0083 Rebellion haven't been recognized as 1/3 of the way through sainthood by achieving a miracle, so no, I don't think so. I think Ko Araki remains primarily a wooden block shoved into a normal suit. I mean, honestly, the biggest note of Ko Araki is he's probably the most successful non-new type Gundam UC protagonist. Maybe, but that's a tough fight with Shiro Amada, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, Ko's regular destruction in the GPO3 is really what puts him over.
Yeah, like that's the thing, is I would say Ko is more successful than Shiro overall, just because Ko ends up in a much more difficult situation, but at the same time also has a much better mobile suit.
Once realizes he's part of the love triangle.
No.
And acts like a sniveling brat by the end of it.
My name is Ko Araki, and I'm a human thumb.
Kinda, yeah.
And, still not as bad as Nina.
Yeah, like I don't dislike Ko, I just don't have literally any thoughts about Ko. He is a non-entity.
To be fair, 0083 is kind of... It waffles between being interesting and being a hot mess at the weirdest of times.
Yeah. Yeah.
The beats come from great.
Yeah, no, again, I will always and forever hold to my theory that 0083 would have been a way more interesting show if Keith were the main character. It legitimately would. Keith is just a more interesting character than Ko.
So, everyone back on the bus?
Yes, I don't have to watch the field.
Solving the problem.
There is a Pale Rider left on the field, and none of them are supposed to kill it.
That's right, it has to be attacked with like 3 of the...
Yeah, they can at best be there for the purposes of drawing attacks from the Pale Rider on its turn, that it doesn't fucking murder.
Yeah, that's what the Neo Zeon.
Yeah.
Or the Neo Zeon, which is there to make it so the Pale Rider can't do crap.
I mean, the Pale Rider, I think, does have
No,
a
it does
melee
have
attack.
melee.
Yeah,
but it can't counterattack shoot us.
Yeah.
It can't.
Yeah.
It makes it very safe to throw attacks.
It's worth noting, they don't actually have to hit. They
No,
just
they
have
just
to
have to
engage.
attack.
むさむさやられてたまるか
Okay then.
And they're not likely to hit.
たとえどんな奴が相手だって私たちならマルコシアス隊なら倒せる
俺たちの気は食らいやがれ
He doesn't have to actually engage it.
Yeah, but might as well throw it.
Hey-oh!
Oh god, I don't know what to do.
Back it up.
俺たちは死なないここでお前を倒して全員で生き延びる
Good effort. 5 attacks, no hits.
Now, one of them has to kill it?
Vincent has to kill it.
Christ.
Sure, attacking Neo Zeon.
Dead
fuck?
god.
All of them have to attack, which we've done. Now Vincent has to kill it.
This does involve it actually being damaged and being hit.
Help at least.
Yep.
Quick motion will help as well.
Quick motion.
Strike assist. Damage. That's only himself, yeah.
Teeth on initiating, he counts the kill for it.
Save before we throw this attack. Just because
The bombs are not amazing.
I mean, if we can kill this turn, we'll swing
But
next turn.
yeah,
yeah, but
I don't have to get this turn, we just have to have Vincent kill.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
we also have just used like all the skills to boost everything. So
good try.
Giant sword. Actually hit.
Ah, some damage.
頼む無駄な抵抗はしないでくれ
There we go. Nice. I'm gonna add a whole initiative to do about next turn if we needed to, so.
It's not like it was much of a threat either. So
No, I
no,
mean,
but
worst case, we'd throw attacks at Vincent until died, but.
yeah. You don't say 80s system.
Marcosius Company. Fate of the Pale Rider.
ハデスをその場に宿す
Cannot take a
青色
screenshot
の死神ペイルライダーは長き死闘の末空をかける打天使たちの手に落ちた左右の爪に蛇の尻尾そして必殺の牙魔獣の名を体現するマルコシアス隊の猛攻によって黙示録に描かれた死の騎士さえも窮地に陥った赤き眼光を失い戦う意志を奪われたペイルライダーはパイロットを抱く自らの子宮をあらわにして虚空を漂う死神と共に戦域より流されていたヴィンセント・グライスナーはマルコシアス隊隊長として最後の使命を果たすべく死神の元へと
in case anyone was wondering, by the way, that whole Demon of Space thing, Marcosius is one of the demons from the Key of Solomon. It is specifically a Marquis of Hell.
Hey, Chloe.
一人にしないで
小さな女の子なんだよこれなんなんだよ
In case you're wondering exactly how we could make this more unethical.
Well, I mean, when you planned out the system, overwrite the pilot anyways.
年かもいかぬ幼き少女であったその脆弱な姿を見れば誰の目にも明白に違いない
I don't think.
彼女もまた
So here's the problem of playing in this, or playing through the story in this particular way. The Pale Rider shows up, gets his ass pushed in, and leaves constantly. It doesn't really destroy anything.
Yeah, this is kind of for fans who've already seen the original.
I mean, no, actually, if you're decent at Missing Link, that's pretty much the same way it goes in that game, too, actually. Like, the Pale Rider shows up, you kick the shit out of it, and runs off. The implication is that the Pale Rider is doing things that the Marcosius or Slave Raid teams don't encounter it during.
It's having adventures over there.
It's having fun adventures in Europe.
That's Space Europe.
Again, remember, the Pale Rider is basically Graves, like, send this out to kill things that I don't like.
Yeah.
Like, the implication is that the Pale Rider has been around doing things well before it ever went after Slave Raid.
Yeah.
It's just a case of, at time to get rid of the slave race, send them here, then send the Pale Rider after them.
Yeah. I am done using the slave wraith. I'm going to send them out to do this mission. If they fail on the mission and die, fine. If they don't, the Pale Rider will kill them.
Yeah, it's also why there was a whole other team there also trying to wipe them out at the same time.
Yeah.
数十年の長きにわたり地球圏における戦いの火種となっていった。そしてその渦中にヴィンセントも自身の身を投じてゆく。彼の戦いも今時の大戦で終わることはなかったのだ。終戦後、トラビス・カークランドもまた息子との約束を果たすため戦場から身を引くことはなかった。表向きはジャンク屋を営みながらその場所を根城にテストパイロットや民間戦闘アドバイザーとして活動。その腕に磨きをかけながら再会の時を待ち続ける。いつの日か自身の愛した食堂で息子と集える日を夢見て。
Makes it sound like they're trying to set up a sequel or something.
No, there's times ago.
There's an epilogue.
The Missing Link.
The majority of Missing Link takes place during the 1 Year War, the last scenario of Missing Link, which is part of this mission. Or
no, it isn't. No, we got the Xeon Cross. That was our gold mod. Not a bad one, but it's not what we were looking for. No, there's no more.
I could have swore it had the
nope,
last
I guess they do not do.
Oh. Must be misremembering.
The epilogue of Missing Link. The epilogue of Missing Link takes place after, like, double Zeta.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only about 3 o'clock, so we could probably do, like, one of the grinding missions or something, since we did not get the, I'm going to say we do the money grinding mission, because we probably also want to pick up a few of those Xeon Crosses, because they're quite nice.
That's just ace points times
double ace points on whoever has it equipped. Yeah.
Nice.
Right, all those things.
Just sell all of this. I don't think. Yeah, anything. Yeah.
For money.
Decent change.
Top of the top. Where do we buy mods?
Huh? Go to organization. And then lists. And then modifications.
No, that's just the modifications we have.
Yes, but if you select an empty spot, purchase. Ta-da!
That's weird. Oh, we were maxed out on Mega Burners.
Yes. That's why it was grayed out.
Now the other question is the thing we get from the gold mod seeded? Or if we load from that save, can we re-roll to try and get the...
I don't know, but I don't really...
Maybe we could definitely we could check. I mean, we were saved right before that attack.
Yeah, give it a try.
We can just skip through the story after if we
Yeah.
don't get it. in my partial playthrough of this, I was never in a position where I could test that, so... And plus, the first gold mod I unlocked was the Minovsky craft, so... I got to do dumb stuff through all the stuff I played up through.
Now to skip as fast as possible.
Yep.
I mean, there's literally a skip button.
Because I think we only have like 2 things. We've got the Xeon Cross and the Minovsky craft left.
No, there's quite a number of gold mods still left.
Okay.
Oh, we might not actually be able to fully skip it just because of
we
the
can
we just
Yeah.
and get through everything.
Yeah, because technically we would see if we had seen it before, we could skip it. Yeah. Technically, since we loaded a save to prior to.
But I can
when we
turn
used
off on and just hammer
Yeah.
through.
青その類弱もそのそしてこの日しかしそしてその歌手表いつの日か
Yep.
I didn't know we were playing the Neverhood.
Downwards.
Okay, yeah, it's generated.
Now we have to go through and do all the
Yep.
stuff again, but
Like 2 of them.
I figured it was worth a try.
Part.
I know. Alright, back where we left off.
Yep.
yeah, it was admittedly a good thought. I had no idea one way or another on that one,
Yeah.
but
It's 1,500 power.
yeah, no, we do actually have access to a lot of really stupid mods at this point. Just never really got around to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can't buy Xeon Crosses. They are
Yeah.
$500,000.
Yes. I mean, there's a reason for that. It is worth noting, if you saw that on the Xeon Cross. Huh?
Oh, go ahead.
Let's just say, that doubling does also apply to things like the MVP bonuses.
What is that?
So, Temray's circuit only applies to things you already have a terrain type for, or does that override terrain types and make it?
I believe it actually only applies to
yeah,
what
because
you already have.
if that overrides,
I'm considering that the Minovsky Craft is like a 200k upgrade. I'm pretty sure the Temporary Circuit doesn't override, but
The Minovsky Craft is 90,000. It's actually way less than that. Yes, does not grant terrain ratings the unit doesn't have on Temporary Circuit.
Okay, that's what I figured.
it just makes ones you have and do it.
I figured that was what made the Minovsky Craft a gold mod, was it actually overrides.
Well, Temporary Circuit is actually specifically even harder than a gold mod. The Temporary Circuit is actually one of the ones you get specifically for the Haro trials.
Yeah. Well,
That is actually what you get for getting the Haro, beating the Haro level up trial one time.
That's why it's a 4 rarity.
I do also like the continued joke in like every game that involves core Gundam of making the Temray circuit do something really powerful.
So we can afford 1 Xeon Cross.
If we want to.
I mean, if you're going to be buying them at all, you might as well.
It's technically most busted on Anna Rose
Yes, because we still need to bump her
and
Quechua. Yeah.
because they both have the like 50 extra ace points for killing them.
Yeah. Let's see. How are their actual abilities looking? That's kind of the real question is.
She needs to finish out luck, which is the one that just gives you more race points.
Yeah.
And then she's working on impregnable, become nigh unkillable.
Yeah.
Anna Rose is also
We already maxed
pumping
out.
out
Okay,
luck.
we already maxed out new type on her though. I would probably put it on Quechua then, just because. I would probably put it on Quechua until we max out luck on her, and then switch it to Anna Rose. Modify.
So that's
Yeah, because fucking whatever. Worst case, we just use salvage.
yep.
Drop a save, just because these grind stages are not actually free.
The grind ones aren't too bad, as long as the actual mission ones can be all sorts of bullshit. And the grind ones we can technically just stop killing things to make
Yeah.
less, or stop having hard units come out. Let's get some cash. You can use literally whatever you want.
Yep.
Space, ground, underwater, whatever.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, it is all terrain types for these.
This is just grind out as much time as possible.
Yep.
These big Haro break down into
Do
smaller
four smaller
Haros.
Haros, which each break down into 4 smaller Haros. And if you do enough fast enough,
There's also
there's the
the Psycho
platinum.
Haro in the middle.
Yeah, there's the big Psycho Haro in the middle, which is the like special, which then causes a bunch of other units to spawn in that you can basically send into capturable mode, which then gets you even more money. But the big one is that eventually, as you break stuff down, eventually there will be platinum Haros that spawn, and busting platinum Haros is a fuck ton of money. I think they're like 100k each or something.
Not quite that much, but it's a chunk. Powerful.
Yeah, so if you do, they destroy the Psycho Haro within 2 turns. It just it spawns a bunch of, I want to say MP Psycho Gundams,
It spawns a bunch of stuff that is actually powerful.
but has the ability to essentially disable it and
Yeah.
be able to capture it if you do it right.
No pinpoint on the Haros despite
No,
this.
they're not warships.
They're not warships.
Yeah.
50, huh? Fair enough.
These are the ones that kind of challenge you to kill as much as possible. Be as efficient as you can with your units.
The Gold Haro.
Yes, the Gold Haros is where the money starts really rolling in. You also do get XP off of them. It's not a ton from this one. The other one gives more XP but less money, basically.
The important thing, if I remember correctly, is that the Gold Haros have, like, Jackal for health. So you basically want to pop out as many Gold Haros as you can.
And then hit them
Then
with a
do these
group attack, yeah.
group attack off the ship, because they have, like, 86 health.
Yep.
So we can do a group attack off the ship to wipe out a ton of them all at once.
Yes, because they do also despawn after like a turn.
Yep. Yeah.
That being said, it is worth remembering that we can at most target 9 things with group attack, so...
We also need at least that many units on the field.
Yep, so you sortie everything, throw out attacks. And yes, also, as you may be picking up on, those actual, like, gold panels there with the Haro face on them, we cannot actually enter.
Yeah.
No matter what terrain types we have, those are blocked off.
Does that thing have a map attack?
No. It does. We don't have the
It's a
energy.
single
But
target.
the other thing to note is these are map.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you cannot actually use
fair,
map attacks on them.
Ah,
They thought of that.
yeah. Yeah, like each of these is worth 8,000 money.
Yeah.
1,000 score.
The platinums,
and
I
if
think,
you're-
are the platinums.
and
I
it's
think are 10,000.
very easy to overkill, and the overkill is
Multipliers,
double the
yeah.
score, so. We'll get what we can on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
The warships don't get a ton of XP or AP, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so these missions are not terribly interesting, but
Nope.
you end up getting a whole fuck ton of money out of them, basically. Like you can see here, we're not even halfway through a turn, and we've already got 33K.
Yeah.
Like, the base reward for it, I want to say, is only like 5,000 or something like that. Like, it's not a lot, but
It's something small, but it is very much a case of, like, you get piles of money.
yeah.
Just by volume.
And score, I assume, translates 1-to-1.
Yep.
Multiple press turns.
So in case it wasn't obvious, we're not really caring about the Psycho Haro.
And we can go after it.
Does it just sit there if you don't go after it?
But none of them do anything.
Yeah, none of the Haros do anything. The stuff that spawns if you kill the Psycho Haro within 2 turns will actually attack.
So the smaller horror shuts down bridge on the gold.
Yeah, it's only the gold ones do spawn. Pretty sure, at least. It's been a long time since I did
If I
this
remember
mission.
correctly, it's on the gold ones that respawn.
Yeah.
You basically don't want to pop the smaller green ones unless you can kill the golds that come out of them. There's one side.
Now the other Karya.
It also does take a bit of shooting to try and take out the second horror.
Yeah,
It does
because that
have
86,000 HP.
Seems that everyone leveled up.
Or no, that's what it is. This one doesn't do the Psycho Gundams. This one is, the special is what triggers the Platinum Haro. And the Platinum Haro is worth like 200k if you destroy it. But it also spawns in the black Psycho Haros that actually do attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, strictly speaking, if you manage to arrange things right and like boost as much as possible and basically do like a full-on attack on it, you can get overkill high enough that defeating the Platinum Haro gets you like 800k.
We are all Haros.
Also, strictly speaking, if you somehow manage to get through the other DLC mission that gets you the infinite press turns one, you can potentially earn money effectively infinitely as long as you can keep restoring energy.
You just keep killing it, press turning, killing it, press turning, killing it, press turning it.
Yeah, you basically just take one of these large Haros and keep slamming the Christ out of it to pop it down to the golds, kill all the golds, it'll respawn, you kill the big one again, break it down, etc.
Effectively just keep farming until you get tired of it.
Yeah.
Group attack, 18k. Not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, again, they have 86 health, so we are doing 2k to each of them because it is 18k power divided across 5 units.
So in completely off-topic news, but I'm out of on-topic things to talk about with the
Well, past off topic things to talk about considering what we're doing right now.
Not too bad of a Chromebook deal I'm considering picking up today. It's the HP X2, which, unlike the last Chromebook I bought, is actually capable of running like Android apps and stuff.
Yeah.
Normally $599, on sale for $299 right now.
Not bad at all.
I'm planning on picking up a Steam Deck already when I actually get my Steam Deck reservation in like July, but maybe a little bit sooner because they do seem like they're a little bit ahead of schedule on the Steam Decks, but not enough to really push it out of the July to September reservation date that they've got for me on my Steam page. But so that means I don't really need a like gaming laptop at all. I need something basic for web browsing and stuff like that. The chance to use Android apps will fill in a lot of gaps that Chrome OS can't fill. I still have one left over. I'll go put in my order for it when we're done with the stream here. I'm on card, takes bad DMV photos.
Yes, for all of our non-viewers that may be wondering, yeah, we're actually a test case group for the Steam Deck, I guess, in that both Shiv and I have one. I actually did the thing that is, like, not fully supported, but like they said, like this is a thing you can do if you want, I guess. And that I blew mine out and just put Windows 10 on it, whereas Shiv is just running his on Steam OS. So we actually have kind of the full experience of Steam Deck, realistically. About the only thing that isn't the case is that none of us went whole hog and got the top tier one. Although I think HP did get reserved that one. So he'll eventually get his, and we'll have even that experience as well to look into. But yeah, in case anyone was wondering, it's nice. I really like it. The feel is good. The weight is exactly like what you would expect from it, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but it's pretty common that you get something like that, and it just like feels like it weighs nothing. It doesn't have any bulk to it, and so it doesn't like sit quite right. But the Steam Deck itself actually feels totally fine. Control-wise, the controller stuff is really good. Honestly, has some of the nicest thumbsticks I've ever experienced on a controller. Yeah, they do. And they have their little like bubble attack, but it doesn't, like, it's energy, I think. I don't believe it does actual damage.
Oh yeah, it is energy damage. Which means it's annoying.
Yeah, but you're not going to lose any units from it.
Yeah.
The black Psycho Haros do actually do HP damage. But yeah, and like thus far, I've run into a little bit of annoyances here and there from having the Windows build on it rather than just doing Steam OS. And that, as of present, there still aren't audio drivers for the built-in audio for the Steam Deck. The built-in speaker and the headphone jack don't work in Windows just yet. They are working with AMD on it as we speak, so that'll happen eventually. But for now, basically, you need to either do Bluetooth or USB-C headset. And there are a handful of games I've found that actually would not launch without an audio device present. It just like stops the game from running and throws up an error. But I did get around that just by basically installing a virtual audio cable, so it's feeding audio to a non-existent device, but it still sees it as an audio device installed and avoids those errors. And the only other thing I've run into is there have been like a couple games I've tried to run that are slightly older, primarily stuff that runs off of like DirectX 9, that does not recognize the graphics adapter, and so I can't, like, I basically can't use them because it shows up like One Piece Pirate Warriors 3, for instance. I was trying to run, it would not allow me to set the game to borderless full screen. It would not allow me to set the game to full screen. It would not allow me to change the resolution to anything but 640 by 480. And was like shoved up in the corner of the screen, partially off screen, so it was actually cutting off part of the screen. Now I did use like a borderless gaming app to force it into borderless windowed mode, but it was still at 640 by 480 resolution, which made it look fucking terrible, and so it was effectively unplayable. But that was the most issue I've had with honestly anything on it. And basically any game made after like 2016 or thereabouts should run fine. Basically anything DirectX 10 or higher shouldn't have any problems at all.
I am hoping that by the time mine is available for purchase, they will also have the Steam Deck dock available. Because my plan is I want to... Right now I'm using a laptop over by my work computer as a secondary computer for like watching YouTube and playing games and stuff, but it's many, many years out of date. And so I want to just put the dock there and hook it up to one that I've got there.
In the meantime, the only physical annoyance I have with it is just, it's if I'm trying to do something on it, like, you know, say if I wanted to use it for some reason to like watch a YouTube video or whatever, or if I'm like downloading and installing a game and I want to keep track of progress, it's going to take a while. It doesn't set down very well. Like, it doesn't have like a kickstand or anything like the Switch does. So you just kind of lay it down flat, and that can make it a little bit difficult to see the screen. That will, A, be solved when the dock actually comes out, and B, at the moment for me is being solved. A friend of ours is literally 3D printing me a stand right now. Like, he actually posted an in-progress photo of it a little bit ago in our Discord, so... Like, it's a real basic, just little fucking plastic thing that holds it up, but it'll make it, it'll make it much nicer to have just in general, because again, a lot of times like I'll be using it, and like I said, when I'm like downloading or installing a game, I want to keep it up on screen so I can keep track of progress and see like when the game is done, but I don't want to sit there having to hold the fucking thing for ever and ever. It is essentially one of the few design elements in comparison to, say, the Switch, which is probably the closest comparable design factor, that the Steam Deck is worse on, honestly. Everything else about the Steam Deck that has comparable elements to the Switch, I feel like the Steam Deck does better. It has actual full grips for the controller stuff, which make it feel better. The buttons, honestly, just feel better. The D-pad is better. The sticks, like I said, are some of the best thumbsticks I've felt on any controller ever. And the touchpads are actually really nice. I know a lot of people have trouble getting used to them. I used a Steam controller for a very, very long time, so they don't bother me all that much. Like, I'm completely used to them, and so it's just like, they feel natural to me. And I don't know how much you've messed around with yours yet, Shiv. If you've got an opinion on the touchpads
I haven't
at all.
done anything that actually uses the touchpads yet, but like, I played games on it so far, and the controller works fine for it.
Yeah, I will say, as far as the touchpad goes, for me, having blown out SteamOS and put Windows on there, the right touchpad is my mouse. But again, some people that's like annoying and like weird too. For me, there was a while where my wireless mouse ran out of battery and I was too lazy to get more AA's, and so I literally just used my Steam controller as my mouse for probably like 4 months. And so like I'm used to it, and it actually works really well. The only thing that's slightly annoying about it is that there's a brief time during the initial Windows startup, because it'll work immediately when Windows starts up, but as soon as Steam actually starts loading, it'll stop working until Steam is fully loaded. Because like it has the stuff in the background to make it function as a like recognized by Windows, but once you actually start Steam goes, oh, you've got a controller, hold on, I'm gonna take control of that until I can load whatever configurations you have for the controller. And so there's a brief period, it's usually only maybe 30 seconds as Steam loads up, that it basically won't actually let me do anything with it as far as the mouse goes. But again, it's all during Windows startup anyway, so it's not like I'm trying to do a whole hell of a lot during that time regardless.
Yeah.
I have had to do some custom controller configuration stuff for certain programs I'm launching, particularly if they are a non-Steam program that I'm just loading into Steam, so I can launch it through there to keep the controller support stuff going, where I'll have to go in and manually set like a setting. But I basically built a controller template that just tells it, no, the right stick is a mouse, or the right touchpad is a mouse, just work as a mouse. And then I can actually use it as a mouse to like control menus and stuff like that in the various like PPSSPP and the other like AbyssHawk and the other emulators and stuff. I got it loaded on there. But I did have to go and manually set up those configs. But now that I have it saved as a template, I basically just add the program, go to controller configs, tell it this template, and it's already done.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall, just a really nice system. I really like it. Nothing I've tried to play on there has not worked well, basically, other than like the older games. And again, that's just a matter of, I imagine if I had it on SteamOS, those would work totally fine, no problems whatsoever. Like I will say, you know, I'm not trying to run fucking like Elden Ring at max settings on it or anything like that, but I have run some decently intensive games on there. I've run the Yakuza remasters at ultra settings, and I still get full like 60 FPS on it. Granted, that takes my battery life down to about like 2 hours, but from a full charge. But if I'm playing less intensive stuff, if I'm playing like Vampire Survivor or Forge or whatever, I get a solid like 6 to 7 hours of battery life out of it, which honestly is almost a longer battery life than my regular fucking laptops have. So
I'm looking forward to playing some like older JRPGs on it, like some of the older Atelier games.
yeah.
The Mysterious Trilogy, stuff like that. Some of the less intensive like dungeon crawler games that I've got, things like that. And from what I've seen, it handles those perfectly.
Yep.
In games like that, you're probably going to get a decent battery life at 60 FPS for older titles like that. Maybe it's going to chug a little on the Atelier ones. That might be like the border of what
I haven't tested it myself, but I at the very least saw somebody running. I want to say it might have been Ryza. It was one of the more recent ones.
Oh, okay.
And it had no problems.
Cool. So yeah, if it can run Ryza,
I mean,
no
the
problems.
Atelier games aren't super.
Graphically intensive.
None of
Resource
them are resource intensive or graphically intensive. But if it can run Ryza, it can definitely run Sophie.
I know I saw it running. I know I saw somebody running one of the more recent Neptunia games on there, and even in battle, when they started setting off all the crazy shit that goes fucking insane in Neptunia, it dipped to like 55.
Yeah.
So it is actually amazingly well optimized.
I only have 8 in range of the ship to do
That's fine.
Oh no, that 1,000 capital.
No, we'll just have to hit it with something else.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I'm looking forward to at this point is getting the actual dock, so I can actually just have like a little like travel keyboard and mouse I can keep around.
Yeah.
Strictly speaking, I could have like a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, I'm sure, and utilize that, especially once I've got this stand. But because right now there will be occasional things where it's a little bit annoying to have to use the on-screen, like the on-screen Steam keyboard. Again, I'm mostly used to it because, again, I used my Steam controller for a long while to do all kinds of stuff on my regular, like, desktop PC. But even still, it's a little bit hinky, I guess is the best way to put it. It can be a little awkward sometimes. Especially because with the way that the Steam keyboard works for the on-screen display thing, it will sometimes get behind stuff. So, like, say, for instance, I'm popping up my start menu, and I want to, like, try and type in a program to get to it fast. The start menu will actually cover the on-screen keyboard. So it can be a little bit awkward in that instance, but you know, nothing completely unusable. It's just something to get adjusted to. But like, there are a few things where I've just kind of been like, you know what, I'm gonna wait until I have like an actual like keyboard and mouse on this to do these kinds of settings changes stuff. Just because it's a little bit more intense than I feel like trying to type my way through. If it's like command line stuff or whatever, I don't want to do that with the on-screen keyboard.
I do also really hope that the Steam Deck in general takes off, because Valve does have a long history of coming out with a really cool product that not enough people get behind, and so support just kind of drops off.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened in the last batch of Steam products. The Steam Link, the Steam Box, and the Steam Controller actually all essentially got dropped after their first generation because nobody was bothering. I think we have a Steam Link somewhere around here. I think that's one of the things we inherited from Clay, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was actually.
Yeah, we do have it here. I think at the last count it was connected to the TV.
Yeah, it's around here somewhere.
I think the Steam controller is sitting at the top of it. Yeah. But it's somewhat mitigated by the fact that we have
A computer hooked up to the
actual
TV out here, big app.
computer hooked up to the television, so
Oh, that's the other thing too that I have actually tested So the like streaming a game to the Steam Deck actually works really well too.
Okay.
Because I've got a couple games where the cloud saves don't work super well, and so I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to try streaming it from my desktop to my Steam Deck, and it works golden. Like there was not even a hiccup. I mean, obviously that can vary depending on your networking equipment, but we're on turn 2. We're already almost at like 200k. This will basically nearly, if not entirely, make back what we just spent on the Xenon Cross.
Yeah.
We'll probably like skip the last 2 turns. Just for time.
I mean, we could also just save it and finish them off stream. Like it's not like we're going to be missing out on deep involved.
The lore.
We're not even getting anything out of this. We've already cleared this mission once. We're not going to unlock anything from doing this. We are literally just doing this for money. I mean, honestly, I would say we should probably just kind of wrap now when we do this and just finish this off stream. Just because it's just gonna be this again for another like half hour.
Yep.
Yeah. So with that said, thank you all for joining us again for another Super Robot Sunday here at Sound Goblin Gaming. We hope you'll join us next week when we begin the end of the 1-year war in 0080, War in the Pocket, and yeah, that should really only be. That's basically all, as I mentioned earlier, that's pretty much all we're going to do next time, because even though it's only 2 scenarios, we will do those 2 scenarios regular, and then either we will get a Minovsky Craft out of that, because we will get another gold mod for finishing all the 1-year war stuff, or we will just do extra difficulty on that, because it is, again, 2 scenarios, it is fairly short, and it is entirely space, meaning we can just field the Neo Zeong and Deep Striker and a bunch of our other really good units in that regardless, in order to get our Silver Bullet Fin Funnels version. So that's going to be next week on Sunday. We hope you join us tomorrow for more Elden region Pokemon. Tuesday, we'll be back with more Phoenix Point, the continuing battle against Kreb and all manner of other sea creature. What needs to go back to the ocean? Get off our goddamn land. We'll be back next Saturday with the trial for Chapter 4 of Danganronpa V3, where I get to be really upset that my theory is correct, because that means that I understand Danganronpa too well. And then again, like I said, right back here next Sunday for more Super Robot Sundays and 0080 War in the Pocket. Until then, I've been your host, Bograt.
I've been the Krampus.
I've been Shin.
And I'm Vincent.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye-bye.